listening to the Shared Security Podcast, exploring the trust you put in people, apps, and technology, with your host, Tom Eston. In episode 115 for April 6, 2020, the latest on yet another Marriott data breach, what you need to know about Zoom bombing and other Zoom privacy concerns, and new warnings about U.S. economic stimulus payment scams. Because everyone is working from home and using video conferencing technology like Zoom, now is a great time to think about the privacy of the webcam that is built into your laptop. Of course, there is the risk of malware being installed on your computer that could turn your webcam on without you knowing, which is why I always recommend covering your webcam as a best practice when you're not using it. A webcam cover can also help prevent situations where you've accidentally enabled your webcam when you didn't know it was on. And the easiest way to prevent webcam misuse is to use Silent Pocket's reusable and removable webcam stickers for your laptop. Pick up a set for your laptop today at Silent Pocket's newly designed website, silentpocket.com. And don't forget to take 15% off your order by using discount code SHAREDSECURITY.
Over 90% of individuals show risky behavior in handling potential phishing messages, according to ClickArmor's free CanIBeFished.com self-assessment. This engaging coronavirus edition of CanIBeFished.com can help identify your team's total vulnerability to phishing attacks that exploit the pandemic situation. So test your own vulnerability to phishing attacks for free now at CanIBeFished.com.
Welcome to the Shared Security Weekly Blaze podcast, where we update you on this week's most important cybersecurity and privacy news. These podcasts are published every Monday and are 15 minutes or less, quickly giving you news that you can use. In breaking news last week, another Marriott data breach was announced that affects 5.2 million hotel guests. This is now the second major Marriott data breach in recent years. The last data breach, in 2018, affected more than 339 million hotel guests when the Starwood Hotel's guest reservation database was compromised way back in 2014 and not detected by Marriott until 2018. This time, Marriott discovered an unexpected amount of guest information was accessed using possibly stolen login credentials at a franchise property. Marriott believes the activity started in January 2020 and was discovered in February. Personal information exposed included contact details, loyalty account information, and other details including company, gender, date of birth, and room and language preferences. Marriott said in a statement posted on their website that there was no evidence of account passwords, PINs, payment card details, passport information, or driver's license numbers that were compromised. While the compromised accounts have been disabled and the investigation continues, Marriott is reaching out to affected guests by having them change their password and also enable two-factor authentication if they haven't already. Marriott has also set up a portal where you can check to see if you were impacted by the breach, which, of course, asks you to put in more of your personal information. For more details on this data breach, check out our show notes for the link to the official Marriott data breach response and to also sign up for your complimentary 1 year of free credit monitoring if you happen to be a victim of this latest data breach. With the massive increase in working from home because of COVID-19, video conferencing is now the new normal when it comes to communicating with anyone. From businesses to doctors, teachers, students, and even kids who want to virtually hang out with their friends, Zoom is probably the most popular video conferencing technology being used today. In fact, according to web analytics firm SimilarWeb, there was a 535% increase in daily traffic to the Zoom.us website just in the last month. And because of that popularity, privacy concerns as well as security vulnerabilities in the Zoom software have been in the news lately and have many people concerned about the security and privacy of their meetings. In one example, The Intercept reported that Zoom meetings are not end-to-end encrypted despite some marketing that Zoom put out which makes it sound like it is, but rather is using standard HTTPS encryption just like a typical website. In another example, researchers discovered that the Apple iOS version of the Zoom client was sending analytics data to Facebook even if you don't have a Facebook account. And researchers also recently found a serious vulnerability in the Zoom desktop client, which allows what is called UNC path injection, which could allow a malicious link posted to the chat within a Zoom meeting. If you were to click on this malicious link, an attacker may be able to grab your hashed Windows login credentials or launch an application on your computer. But the most popular attack that's going on right now is something called Zoom bombing. Zoom bombing is where someone will access your Zoom meeting by either guessing or brute forcing the meeting ID number, or by simply clicking on your meeting link that you may have posted publicly on Twitter or through another public forum. Once someone is in your meeting, they can cause all kinds of havoc, like taking over the sharing on your meeting, and in some recent cases, showing everyone porn or some other things you probably didn't want to see in your meeting. The solution for this is to make sure you change the default who can share setting in your Zoom configuration from all participants to host only, and of course, enable a password for your meetings. Now, because of these and a few other reported security vulnerabilities late last week, Zoom announced that they will be freezing future development for 90 days to improve the security and privacy, as well as conduct a third-party security review of their product. Look, I know it's easy to pile on Zoom right now and blame them for not securing their software. However, every software and website has security vulnerabilities, and we shouldn't fault Zoom too much here, especially when Zoom has rapidly risen in popularity. Zoom really seems to be trying to do the right thing here from a security perspective. Everything you use on the internet has a risk associated with it, but in my opinion, Zoom is no more riskier than using Skype or some other solution that most likely has similar or worse vulnerabilities. My final thoughts on this is that if you really do need real end-to-end encrypted video communication, you should be using something like Signal, which is open source and routinely vetted by the cybersecurity community. If you are using Zoom in cases where the information that you may be talking about is government secrets, proprietary or highly confidential information, or conducting meetings that would be of interest to a large nation state, you probably shouldn't be using Zoom anyway. And now a word from our sponsor, Edgewise Networks. The biggest problem in security that remains unsolved are flat networks in cloud and data centers, with unprotected attack paths that allow threats to move laterally to cause data breaches. But microsegmentation using network addresses is complicated and takes too much time. But there's a better approach: Edgewise Zero Trust Auto Segmentation. Edgewise is impossibly simple microsegmentation, delivering results immediately with a security outcome that's provable. At the core of Edgewise Auto Segmentation is Zero Trust Identity, which allows workloads to communicate only after their software identity has been verified. Malicious or unimproved software is no longer allowed to communicate. Identity-based protection provides more coverage with fewer policies to make Edgewise simple to deploy and manage. No changes to the application or network are required. One solution protects virtual machines and containers in the cloud and on-premises. To stop lateral threat movement and prevent breaches, visit edgewise.net for a demo and to see results within minutes. The IRS recently issued a warning about a new surge in coronavirus-related scams over email, phone, or social media requesting personal information while using the new economic stimulus payment as a lure. Because economic stimulus payments are going to be showing up in bank accounts and through the mail in the next several weeks, everyone should be on alert for scams attempting to take advantage of the stress and anxiousness related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Top things to watch out for include looking for common words in these scams, such as stimulus check or stimulus payment. The official term from the IRS is economic impact payment. Other things to look out for include asking the taxpayer to sign over their payment check, asking by phone, email, text, or social media for verification of banking account information to speed up payment, and even mailing the taxpayer a bogus check, perhaps in an odd amount, and then telling the taxpayer to call a number to verify information online in order to cash it. As the IRS notes, they already have your information from previous tax returns, and if you don't have direct deposit set up, the IRS will mail your check to the address they have on file. More details are available on the official IRS Coronavirus Tax Relief webpage, which you can find linked in our show notes. And if you do become a target of a COVID-19 related economic impact payment scam, be sure to report it to phishing@irs.gov. That's a wrap for this week's show. Visit our website, sharedsecurity.net, for previous episodes, links to our social media feeds, our YouTube channel, and to sign up for our email newsletter. First-time listener to the podcast? Please subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And if you like this episode, please share it with friends and colleagues. Thanks for listening, and see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Weekly Blaze.